Hey, my friend, and welcome back to State 48 Homeowner, where we provide Arizona homeowners with the knowledge, tools, and resources to care for their homes and make smart decisions. Today's episode is a must-watch if you're thinking about selling your home or even if you just want to be prepared when the time comes. Today, we're answering the question, how do I prepare my home to pass an inspection? And to help us do that, we're joined by one of Arizona's top home inspectors, Paul Stratton from Stratton Inspections. He's seen it all, believe me. And today, he's going to walk us through the most common things that trip sellers up and how you can avoid them. And if you're digging this content, give us a like. It does make a big difference. And stick around to the end because we're going to share the top 3 things that homeowners can do this weekend to get their home inspection ready, even if you're not planning to sell right away. So strap on your tool belt as we get into this inspection today on State 48 Homeowner.
Hi, I'm Klaus, and this is State 48 Homeowner.
So, Paul, I understand why buyers would get a home inspection, obviously, but why would sellers think about getting a home inspection before they sell?
That's a great question. It really gives us an opportunity to look under the hood. We're not really there to nitpick anything. We want to look for major issues, especially on selling the home, because these are things that'll come up when the buyer goes to get their inspection finished. And so we want to get ahead of the game, give you the opportunity to fix things prior to you listing the home.
No surprises.
No surprises, exactly.
All right, let's talk about what a home inspector is actually looking for here in Arizona. When you bring in a home inspector, they're not just walking around, tapping the walls and nodding. Their job is to check the important stuff, the structure, the systems, and everything that keeps the house safe, working, and hopefully not costing you a fortune later on. They usually start with the structure. They're going to look at the foundation to see if there's any cracks, any signs of settling, any moisture problems. Then they're going to check the walls, floors, and ceilings for damage or anything that might mean water leaks or, heaven forbid, termites throwing a house party behind the scenes. They're also going to crawl into the attic, which, by the way, if you've ever been in an Arizona attic in the summer, you know that deserves hazard pay. Up there, they're checking the framing, the insulation, and making sure it's ventilating properly so your AC is not crying for help. Then they move on to all the systems. Starting with the roof, they're going to look for damaged shingles, worn flashing, skylights that leak, and making sure the rainwater drains where it's supposed to and not into your living room. In the electrical system, they'll check your wiring, outlets, breaker panels. They're looking for things that are safe, and also they're making sure that it's not going to spark up a fireworks show on your walls. Then it's plumbing, leaks, water pressure, pipes, fixtures, making sure the water is getting where it needs to go and staying away from where it shouldn't. And of course, HVAC. In Arizona, your AC is like a family member. So the inspector is going to make sure it's cooling properly and not about to throw in the towel on the first 115-degree day. Then on the outside, they're checking the lot. They're making sure the water drains away from the house and not towards it. They're going to check your driveway, walkways, fences, and any retaining walls that you have. They're also going to inspect the garage, making sure that the garage door opener works and that your home is fire safe. Then they're even going to take a quick look at the laundry hookups and major appliances. They're not going to do a deep dive, but enough to say, hey, your dishwasher cycles or your oven heats up. Now, here's something important. Inspectors are not there to judge your decorating skills, nitpick your paint colors, or tell you your countertops are outdated. Buyers are going to do that. Most cosmetic stuff, scratches, scuffs, and minor wear, it usually doesn't make it into the report. What inspectors are focused on are defects, safety hazards, and real maintenance issues. And once they're done, you're going to get a full inspection report. It's basically a health check for your house, telling you what's good, what needs a little TLC, and what might be a bigger problem if it's not handled. So let's talk about the deal killers. What are the most common inspection items that cause problems?
So a lot of the deal killers here in our climate would be roofing. We're always finding older roofs or underlayment that's damaged or bad. These are costly repairs or replacements. Another one would be HVAC. We live in a very hot climate, so we want to make sure HVAC is working properly. We also want to know the age of it so we can kind of determine if we're going to have to budget in for replacement. Pools is another big one. Plaster, is the plaster condition of the pool in good shape? Also the equipment, is it in good shape? And then another one I would think would be electrical. How's your electrical system? There's some systems out there that are way outdated. They're problematic, and to replace an electrical panel can get costly as well. So those are some of the deal killers.
So if someone's thinking about selling their home, what are some things that they should be thinking about in advance?
Here's a quick checklist for them. All right, let's talk about air filters. It surprises me on how many inspections we do where the air filter hasn't been replaced or cleaned. Air conditioning units are so expensive, and this is a simple way to maintain it. They're very inexpensive, and this is one thing you can do prior to selling your home, getting your home ready for sale, to make the transaction go a lot smoother and to instill confidence in the buyer that you're maintaining your home. All right, real quick, let's talk about electrical panels. First, make sure these are unlocked so that the inspector can access the panel. As inspectors, we take this dead front cover off. We're checking for if there's any loose connections, arcing, breaker to wire size, all of these things. We're also checking to see if there's any double taps, meaning is there two wires going to one single pole breaker? If so, one wire needs to be on its own breaker, and an electrician can fix that. These are all easy fixes. But also, if we're looking at an older home, a lot of times these older panels, especially a Federal Pacific or a Zinsco, they're outdated and they're problematic. You definitely want to get that looked at by an electrician to see if they need to be replaced, because that can be a costly repair as well. A lot of times we don't know until it's too late that we have a leak underneath the sink because we have personal belongings under there and we can't actually see it. So fill up your sink, drain it, take a peek underneath there, and make sure everything's good and you don't have any leaks prior to your inspection. Another real easy check for owners would be your windows. Check and make sure they're opening properly and that they're actually staying up. Your glides are good. Also make sure they're latching properly. And one final check, make sure there's no fogging or condensation between the two panes, meaning that sill may be breached if you do find that. So these are things that we find in inspections all the time, and these can add up to costly repairs depending on how many windows we find like that.
All right, as promised, here are 3 simple things you can do this weekend to prep your home, even if you're not selling right now. First, replace every air filter in the house. It costs less than $30 and makes your HVAC system work better immediately. Next, walk your home like a buyer. Pretend you're seeing your home for the first time. Open and close doors, run faucets, check for anything that's squeaky or sticking. And finally, check exterior drainage. Make sure gutters aren't clogged, downspouts are pointed away from the home, and you're not getting pooling water near the foundation. And if you're not sure what to look for, call a home inspector like Paul to do a pre-listing inspection. It's a great way to get ahead of any surprises, and then you can walk into a sale with confidence. If you want to connect with Paul or schedule your own inspection, whether you're selling soon or you just want peace of mind, check out Stratton Inspections at strattoninspections.com or call 480-215-7264. And remember, if you want a complimentary walkthrough to help get your home ready to sell, reach out to your Klaus team agent. We're thrilled to come by and talk about your next steps, make recommendations for any repairs or updates that might increase your home's value, and give you your options as a home seller in today's unique market. We're experienced in your neighborhood. We've sold nearly 7,000 homes, and we've closed on average a home a day every year since 2010, all while giving each and every one of our clients the highest level of personal service that we've become known for. Call us at 480-354-7344 or visit klausteam.com/call us first, and we can start the conversation. And like this video if it helped you out. Subscribe for more Arizona homeowner tips, ring the bell for notifications, clean your air filters, and catch us next time on State 48 Homeowner. Thanks for spending time with us this week at State 48 Homeowner, the ins and outs of owning an Arizona home. You can connect with us for more information, submit topics you'd like us to further discuss. You can see relevant videos, give us feedback, answer your real estate questions, and more at state48homeowner.com.